Imagine waking up at 6 o'clock a.m., heart racing as you navigate rush hour traffic, caffeine pulsing through your veins like a lifeline. You pull into the parking lot of a job you dread, toiling under a boss who, let's face it, doesn't appreciate your genius. You lace up your financial boots and trudge to your cubicle, where you clock in for another day of grinding away your life. You meticulously stash 20% of your paycheck into your 401k every month, all because the world tells you that one day, at age 65, you'll get to kick back and live the life you've dreamt about. But let's be real, when you finally hit that milestone, your knees hurt, your back aches, and you're tired. How satisfying is that? This is the standard path cooked up by hustle culture. A slow, painful grind where you've traded off your best years for a distant promise of happiness. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. And the craziest part is, what if I told you there's a mathematical cheat code to all this? What if I told you that by crunching a specific number, you could hit a magic dollar amount in your 30s? And once you do, you never have to save another penny for retirement again. Picture this, all of a sudden your entire paycheck is yours to enjoy right now, knowing your future is locked down and secure. That's not a fantasy, it's a real financial possibility called Coast Fire. And let me tell you, if you don't know your number, chances are you're working way harder than you need to. What's up, crew? My name's Bobby, and I'm obsessed with discovering the fastest, most effective ways to buy back my freedom. Most financial advice, it's rooted in deprivation, telling you to skip that latte today so you can afford a slightly nicer nursing home tomorrow. But if you're sick of the relentless grind and want an actual shortcut to freedom, smash that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving deep into Coast Fire. We're breaking down what it is, the math that underpins it, and how to find your freedom number. Let's go. So, what is Coast Fire? You've probably heard of the traditional FIRE, financial independence, retire early movement. These are the hardcore folks who save a whopping 70% of their income, live on rice and beans, and retire at age 30 with a cool $1 million in the bank. Great, but who wants to live like that? Coast Fire is different. It's the Goldilocks zone. Imagine building a snowman. At first, it's just an exhausting little snowball you're shoving through the deep snow. You're sweating, straining, and barely making progress. That's your 20s slogging through the grind to save your first 10K, 50K. It feels like you're running uphill, doesn't it? But then you reach that summit, let go of the snowball, and watch as it starts rolling downhill, gathering momentum all on its own. Now that's your Coast Fire number. It's where you've saved just enough early on so compound interest can take over while you kick back and enjoy life a little. Let's dig into the numbers, because when you see this side-by-side comparison, it'll change your whole perspective. Enter Grinding Gary and Coast Carl. They both want to retire at 65 with a nice nest egg. Gary, like a good little soldier, starts saving at age 25. He religiously sets aside $500 a month for 40 years. By the time he's 65, he's sitting on about $1.7 million. Not bad. But did he really enjoy his life during those 40 years? Now let's look at Coast Carl. He's intense. He goes all in from ages 25 to 35. He lives frugally, saves, and invests like there's no tomorrow. By 35, he saved up $250,000. Then, on his birthday, he hits his Coast number and stops saving entirely. Forget putting away another dime. He takes that excess cash and spends it on travel, a swankier apartment, whatever floats his boat. What happens to that $250K? He completely ignores it for the next 30 years. When Carl turns 65, that initial $250K has ballooned to a staggering $2.5 million. Let's pause to reflect. Carl ends up with more money than Gary, and he stopped saving 30 years earlier. Why? Because he front-loaded the effort, letting compound interest do the heavy lifting during those crucial years. This is the magic of Coast Fire. Once you push that snowball to the top, you're done. But it's not just about the math. The psychology behind this is life-changing. Right now, you might feel that financial pressure. making $5,000 a month but thinking you should stash away $800 of it for the future. So what do you have left to live on? A measly $4,200. It's like a background buzzing in your brain reminding you you're not doing enough. But guess what? The moment you hit that coast number, that stress, poof, it disappears. If your coast number is $250,000, the day your portfolio hits that mark, you unlock a whole new level of freedom. You don't need that high-stress corporate gig anymore, the one paying $120K a year but draining your soul. You could quit, take on a fun job that pays $70K and still feel richer, because all of your paycheck is yours to enjoy. You slide from accumulation mode to maintenance mode. Now you're just covering your expenses. That's profound freedom, my friend. Okay, Bobby, I'm in, so how do I find my number? It's a two-step process. Think of it as working backward. Step 1, what's your end goal? How much cash do you need by 65 to retire comfortably in today's dollars? A popular rule of thumb is the rule of 25. Take your desired yearly spending in retirement and multiply it by 25. So if you want to live on $80,000 a year, that's $2 million you need by 65. Step 2. The reverse calculation, figuring out what you need today to grow into that $2 million without adding anything else. Grab a compound interest calculator. Let's say you're 30 years old with 35 years until 65, and we're playing it conservatively with a 7% return after inflation. What starting amount growing at 7% for 35 years equals $2 million? Drum roll, please, it's roughly $190,000. That's your coast number. If you're 30 and sitting on $190K in low-cost index funds, congratulations, you're done saving for retirement. If you don't have that, your focus should be laser-like. Forget a balanced budget right now. You've got to attack that $190K number with everything you've got, because once you cross that finish line, everything else gets a whole lot easier. Now I can hear the comments brewing. Bobby, what about inflation? What if the market crashes? What if I want to retire before 65? Absolutely valid questions. Yes, inflation's a beast. That's why when we calculate growth, we're conservative with our estimate, using 7% instead of the historical 10% of the S&P 500. It's built-in protection against inflation's bite. And yes, the market will crash, but over a 30-year period it always rebounds and grows. We're in it for the long haul here. And no, Coast Fire doesn't mean you can kick back and retire tomorrow. You still have to cover your day-to-day expenses. If you want to retire completely at 40, you'll need the hardcore FIRE approach. But Coast Fire, it's about banishing that fundamental adult fear of being broke when you're older. Here's the bottom line. Most people are running a marathon with no finish line in sight. They're just sprinting until they collapse. Coast Fire gives you an actual finish line for the saving phase of your life. It allows you to front-load the sacrifice so that you can enjoy the chaotic, messy middle of your life in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, not waiting until your prime years are behind you. So figure out your number, slap it on a post-it note, stick it to your monitor, and run through walls to hit it. If this video blew your mind a little, hit that like button so we can help others break free from the grind. Subscribe for more tips on how to hack the financial game. Thanks for watching, and here's to happy coasting.